Here we go. Episode 4. So if you haven't seen the first or second episode or any of the clips, then you should go look at the back catalog. Actually, let me go put this. So we're going to be getting into this in a moment. And I was actually going to do this behind the scenes and not put this in the episode, but then I thought that would be ridiculous. The whole point of this show is to make the mundane a YouTube video. I was going to say make the mundane entertaining, but I don't really know how entertaining it is. But there's no reason for me not to do this, so let's just do it, however sloppy it is. So I think the strategy, and I mean, I was just thinking about this. The show, I guess, needs to be as community-oriented as possible. I mean, I think the only thing the show may have to offer is, I would like to think, is the authenticity. Look at this. I'm even in the back of my email account. That shouldn't be up there. So the authenticity of it and the realness. We're going to keep it real. I think in one of the previous episodes, I opened up the Toyota website and its slogan was "Keep it real." I think that's going to be the slogan of this show. Keep it real. So if you're on here, if you're watching, however you're watching, you may be watching a clip. You may be watching the full episode. You may be doing any of those things. I don't really know. But I want to welcome you to this video. And in this video, we're going to have some exciting features coming up. The first feature is I'm going to be trying to fix my sticky mouse. So I have this mouse, and I actually just recently got kicked out of the Amazon affiliate program for not making any affiliate sales. They give you 180 days to do it. So if I was smart and I had done this video before, I would have a affiliate link to this mouse. Can you see the mouse right there? So this is a Logitech Trackball mouse. It's been around for at least like 10 years because I've been using them for 10 years and they're still selling them today, which is great because it's actually one of the last remaining middle trackball mouses, which I've gotten used to. I've used the thumb trackball mouses a couple times, but I've never been as comfortable. I mean, I think here, because I have the 3-finger, you get the little 3-finger grip, and then you have your pinky here and your thumb here. I truly believe this is probably the most optimized mouse. And if you think any differently, you're a moron. No, I mean, everybody has their preference, but definitely, from using a trackpad to a regular, mouse where you move the whole thing around, to the trackball, to the thumb trackball, to the middle trackball. I think the middle trackball mouse is definitely, for me, in my opinion, the best configuration mouse out there. Now, we see here, why do I have the cookie counter game open? If you see me pulling up OBS, it's just to check if this is really recording. There's no producer, there's nobody checking on the show. So if I'm not recording things in the right way, then I'm wasting my time more than I already am by putting this show out there. But if you enjoy it, that's good. So this mouse is probably a year, 2 years old. If you look back at the other episodes, you'll see me have occasional frustrations with another mouse, and that mouse has got to be at least 5, 7, 8 years old, maybe going on 10 years old. And I've actually gone through another one of these mice, and the same thing, kind of the same failure point has been the cable, where the cable, after years of use and being unplugged and plugged, you could probably prolong the use if you don't move it around as much. If it's just sitting at a desk, it will probably last longer, but the cable gets a little loose. That may be an interesting video, actually, is to see if I can repair. I think I have another one. I at least have 2 of them. I may have 3 of this same exact mouse. And the reason I even came onto this mouse is because my mother was a graphic designer and she would do a lot of things on the computer, and she had those mouse. So I guess I kind of learned from a young age how to use that kind of mouse for the computer, and that may be why it's most comfortable. But either way, it gives you that precision. And when you want to move fast on a computer, just think about it. The muscle movements, it's like that old joke of it takes, 47 muscles in the face to make a frown, but it takes 4 muscles to just stick up the finger. That wasn't to you, the viewer. I'm not flicking you off because I don't know you. It's just to, demonstrate the concept of it taking a lot fewer muscles, a lot fewer energy to make a movement, you doing it one way as opposed to the other way. So you feel, as you being a living being on this planet, you feel, I guess, as you go more and more in life, you feel the energy kind of expense of every movement you make. Like things that are like, oh, just getting up and walking and do something is like, and not because I fortunately I don't suffer any pains other than, maybe an injury or a tight back or, just anything that would clearly, I have no chronic pain, I guess. Every once in a while I get headaches. But other than that, it's pretty much easy come, easy go. But just as a living creature, you feel the energy that gets expent when, is it expent or spent? It's probably just spent. Expent is probably means that you're not spending. So the expense, I guess, would it be? But you feel the energy spent for every movement. And it's like you're maybe consciously, but it's Newton's, what is it, the third law kind of applied at every time. Like your mind subconsciously feel, look at that. Oh, frenzy. So what we're doing here with the cookie clicker is this is the first mouse that I've felt this other issue, which is that the clicker, if I'm not pressing it hard enough, won't go. So it's a sticky clicker. So I thought, what's a way for me to unstick it? Well, probably moving it, because it's been sitting for a little while without use after having a bunch of use. So it probably has dust and grime, and it's just generally nasty in there. So if I click it, but it's like, where can I get a visual response for clicking something multiple times in a short amount of time? If I'm just clicking on the screen on a white space, it's not going to be, nothing's really going to be happening. But if I use the cookie counter, then look at this. I'm doing the whole bonus. Woo! So we're doing the cookie game. So I had heard about this game. This game went viral. Let me know if you've heard about the cookie game. But it's really like a study of, where it's never enough. Like, because then, and just kind of a study of really large numbers in a way that, a kid could digest it. So the cookie game, the cookie clicker, is a game where you click, but it's not just clicking. Right now, I'm doing the clicking for a specific purpose to try to fix my mouse. So this is another use for the cookie clicker. If you have a clicker that's a little sticky, I'm doing clicks. I'm doing clicks all over the clicker. Here we go. Oh, it's raining. So there is, it's pouring down rain right now. We are cookie clicking. So what I'm doing is whatever little mechanism, whatever little gunk that it kind of dried up and it got stuck there, you will not be anymore. So the cookie clicker game is a deep dive into like large numbers and human psychology of it's never enough. There's no end to the cookie game in so many words. And there's a few games that, there's many games that are like this now because there's just a lot more games, a lot more digital video games that are out there, where these games that just have no ending. There's games that have kind of a predictable ending. You could obviously probably still play the game and do other things, any multiplayer, but even multiplayer, a round starts and ends. This cookie game will last as long as I want to play it. or the technical abilities, this laptop breaks or the power goes out or whatever the case may be. But so you can click. Oh, look, it's showing cookies falling down. So it's animating the cookies that are going down. So I guess we're going to do a little bit of a deep dive over this cookie. We'll see how much time that takes up, and then we'll go from there. But so you obviously don't just click. You then get the ability to increase the amount of cookies that your cursor makes, or you can get a grandma. And what is grandma going to do? So now grandma is going to make 1 cookie per second by herself. So it's like you're building a cookie business. So now instead of me having to make all the cookies, grandma's making one of the cookies. And you know what? I'm going to go hire another grandma. And now and look, grandmas are getting more expensive because as I hire grandmas, there's less there's not, but in the economy of cookie clicker world, there's now less grandmas, so each grandma's a little more money. I mean, I'm putting that rationale behind it. Really, it's just in the code. Every time you get one, the price goes up. Oh, so now grandmas have become expensive, but now my 5 grandmas are making 5 cookies per second. So I can go sit back, and now, I can relax, and I don't have to be clicking here. But for me, I wanted to be clicking because the whole point for me was to fix a clicker. But now the whole point is really to show you about the cookie clicker. If you haven't ever played the cookie clicker, you're welcome. I'm probably getting people addicted on this. So look at this. So I can buy clickers, and now every time I click, they're clicking as well. Look. So they're all clicking the cookie. So now I'm getting 6 cookies per second. Right? Carpal tunnel prevention cream. The mouse and cursors are twice as efficient. It hurts to click. Reinforced index finger. The mouse and cursor are twice as efficient. Ooh, so I can get one of those. So now when I click, boom, I get 2 cookies. Boom, 2 cookies. So clicking cookies doesn't add to my per second because it doesn't know how many times I'm going to be clicking. But if I'm not clicking, I get 7 cookies per second. Although I can get another grandma. Ooh, now we got 8 cookies per second. Now we're really moving. Look, and I can buy a farm. Grows cookie plants from cookie seeds for $1,100. I can go and get a cookie farm. But I'm going to keep adding some more grandmas because it's now it becomes very quickly in the game, it becomes the rate of cookies. It goes from, and there's this interesting concept in physics where you have the speed, so you have the velocity of an object, right? And that's just speed. And then you have the acceleration of that object, which is the rate of change of speed. And then you have it's like the jolt, the snap, the whip, because then on each one, you can measure the rate of change of the rate of change. So you can have the rate of change of acceleration. So let's see if we put that in Google, rate of change of acceleration. And that's called the jerk, and the jolt is a surge or lurch, is a rate of change of acceleration. More precisely, the derivative of acceleration with respect to time. Look, it just had a surge in trends because somebody talked about this. So I'm going to make a video right now. So we're going to talk about rate of change of jerk, of jolt, of acceleration. But then you can have the rate of change. Now let me just do this. Let's see if we rate of change of of acceleration. So you have the jerk. There's one above that. Is the rate of change, the rate of change of jerk. Jerk, jounce, snap, crackle, pop. And these are derivatives. So you can have technically an infinite amount of derivatives. Now, human beings seem to have, as a snap, the fourth derivative of an object's displacement, the rate of change of jerk is known as snap, also known as jounce. The fifth derivative, the rate of change of snap, is crackle. And you've guessed it, the sixth derivative of displacement is pop. As far as I can tell, none of these are commonly used. Yeah, it becomes less and less useful, but it's still mathematically you could do it. In abstraction, it exists, it can be measured, but in practice, speed, definitely, velocity, definitely important, acceleration, important, the rate of change of acceleration is important in some instances, and then each one gets less and less important as time goes down, as the rate of change compounds upon each other. Physicists are obsessed by rates, how quantities change over time. That's a practical thing. The rate of change of the number of nuclei in a radioactive sample tells us how radioactive something is. The rate at which the chemicals in a reaction change tells us how reactive something is, and so on. If we start by looking at the displacement of an object, i.e. the distance from where it started to where it currently is, then we look at the first derivative by time of displacement, i.e. dividing the displacement of an object for how long it took to be displaced. We have calculated the object's velocity. V equals the distance dx, the derivative x, and dt. I may have derivative of position, and then divided over the derivative of time. If we look at the rate of change of velocity, let me expand this a little bit. I don't know which side I'm on. I need my second monitor, folks. This is a little intermission for our sponsor. The sponsor for this video is yours truly, and I would appreciate if at some point, if I put up a page where you could, send some cash, moolah, cheddar paper my way, I would definitely appreciate it. It doesn't really make any sense for me to say any of that right now, because at the time of this recording, there will probably be very few viewers. The chance for viewers are very low. But if you're seeing this as a back catalog, because this channel's has since grown to a point where that makes sense, then, support the channel, share the videos. If you learned something, if you were entertained, if this was informative in any way or useful or entertaining, because there's, let's face it, folks, there's a lot of garbage on this platform. I'm not going to name it out. I'm not trying to, but we can all agree there's a lot of garbage. I mean, some of the stuff that I've put out on this channel has probably been garbage and just put out on this platform. I mean, do we not all throw out garbage? Are not even that chick that had the little jar and she's like, oh, this is all the trash that I ever make. This is it. All my trash fits into this little jar. All my chat. There she is. How I fit 5 years of my trash. So good for you. You know what I mean? So if that's you, but even her, she's still got a little bit of garbage. So everybody has a little bit of garbage that they have to throw out every now and again. So why don't we just accept it? Why don't we just accept all people have a little bit of garbage? And while this woman was putting her 5 years of trash in her jar, she was still taking monster dumps on the can. Let's just zero waste my ass. You're eating, right, woman? Even if you're vegan, even if you're eating air, there is some can and in some pipe somewhere that is just filled with your waste. My waste as well. If you're a living being, maybe you're the AI watching this, and maybe your only waste is like water because you're running on hydrogen fuel cells and all you do is tinkle a little bit of water. It's funny. There's these hydrogen fuel cell cars, notably the Toyota Mirai. And being a YouTube car consumer, there's plenty of videos. If you just go search Toyota Mirai, let's see who's got the best SEO for the Toyota Mirai videos. Are there any videos? We got the top stories, and then we got the 2021 Toyota Mirai from Toyota UK. Makes sense. From UCar, Doug DeMuro, and Motor Week. So Dougie Doug, man, he really does have that SEO. He's got that SEO right. Well, he's got the blue model to line up with you. UCar has got it, but UCar, how big is UCar? Let's see. Bump. So UCar has got 2.14. This got 80,000 views. Dougity Doug has got 1.4 million views and 3.93 million subscribers. Dougie fucking Doug, dude. Dougie Doug. So yeah, there you go. So there's some of the SEO. So for that, and the issue with it. Oh, and then here's the Fastlane car. Definitely seen them. So I'm gonna start a car review channel. I'm just gonna go walk up to cars in the middle of the road. You know, if I see a new car, just go up and start being like, here's all the quirks and features, and all the car reviews will end by getting thrown out of either the dealership or by the owner. I just walk into someone's garage and be like, this is not my car. This is someone else's car. And here's all the quirks and features. In the back seat, we have photos and dirty laundry and work materials. And look at this. We found some drugs, ladies and gentlemen. This is the not my car. And in the glove box, we found a gun. Holy God. This, for those of you out there, you know exactly who I'm trying to make fun of. I'm not saying it's funny. It's a little funny to me. I'm not even laughing. So let's move on. So the point of it is, people would make fun of how the Mirai would trickle out water. They'd be like, oh, the Mirai is urinating. How, and obviously it's cheeky. It's a little cheeky. We'll admit that, because it's really not a big deal. But anybody who says that is overlooking the fact that every car with air conditioning trickles as well. If your car has air conditioning and it isn't trickling, your car has a problem, because that thing's getting, stuck, and then it's not draining. The condensation is not draining, and it's about to be on your floorboard, and it's going to rot through your car, and it's going to be horrible. So every car trickles that has. Now this one, it may trickle more, I don't know, but I've seen a lot of water come out of cars that I've used that aren't hydrogen fuel cell, just use an air conditioning condenser, and that's what happens. I'm not saying anything else about the hydrogen fuel cell. I don't know. The whole issue is that the other issue is that, where do you get your hydrogen? Where can you put your hydrogen in? And I don't have an answer for that. I don't know. It would be cool. Hydrogen kind of makes sense, but is it like the Hindenburg? I don't know. I mean, fuel is just as flammable. What's more flammable, hydrogen or fuel? Because fuel's pretty flammable. For both of them, you just need a spark near the vapor of it, and it'll combust, right? Is hydrogen more flammable than gasoline? Specifically, hydrogen has a wide range of flammable concentrations in air and lower ignition energy than gasoline or natural gas, which means it can... Oh, okay. Okay, Department of Energy. So maybe they don't know what they're talking about, but it's oh, okay. Consequently, adequate ventilation and leak detection are important elements in the design of safe hydrogen systems. That's a crazy thing. Safe use of hydrogen. By their nature, all fuels have some degree of danger associated with them. The safe use of any fuel focuses on preventing situations where the three combustion factors, an ignition source, spark, or heat, oxidant, air, and fuel are present. With a thorough understanding of fuel properties, we can design fuel systems with appropriate engineering controls and establish guidelines to ensure the safe handling and use of a fuel. A number of hydrogen's properties make it safer to handle and use than the fuels commonly used today. For example, hydrogen is non-toxic. In addition, because hydrogen is much lighter than air, it dissipates rapidly when it is released, allowing for relatively rapid dispersal of the fuel in case of a leak. Some of hydrogen's properties require additional engineering controls to ensure its safe use. Specifically, hydrogen has a wide range of flammable concentrations in air and lower ignition energy than gasoline or natural gas, which means it can ignite more easily. Consequently, adequate ventilation and leak detection are important elements in the design of safe hydrogen systems, because hydrogen burns with a nearly invisible flame. Special flame detectors are required. That's wild. In addition, some metals can become brittle when exposed to hydrogen. So selecting appropriate materials is important to the design of safe hydrogen systems. In addition to designing safety features into hydrogen systems, training in safe hydrogen handling practices is a key element for ensuring the safe use of hydrogen. In addition, testing of hydrogen systems, tank leak tests, garage leak simulators, and hydrogen tank drop tests shows that hydrogen can be produced, stored, and dispensed safely. As more and more hydrogen demonstrations get underway, hydrogen safety record can grow and build confidence that hydrogen can be as safe as the fuels in widespread use today. I mean, it makes sense. How expensive is it? How to produce hydrogen fuel? Does this stuff get you put on a list? How do they make hydrogen fuel? Today, hydrogen fuel can be produced through several methods. The most common methods today are natural gas reforming. Natural gas, hydrogen production, natural gas reforming. My God. Hydrogen production, natural gas reforming. Natural gas reforming is an advanced and mature production process that builds upon the existing natural gas pipeline delivery infrastructure. Today, 95% of the hydrogen produced in the United States is made by natural gas reforming in large central plants. This is an important technology pathway for near-term hydrogen production. Holy shit. Natural gas contains methane, CH4, that can be used to produce hydrogen with thermal processes. Well, it's got 4 little hydrogens for every carbon. That's pretty good. Such as steam methane reformation and partial oxidation. Steam methane. Oh, here we go. We're about to talk about it right now, but we'll open that up. Most hydrogen produced today in the United States is made via steam methane reforming, a mature production process in which high temperature steam, 700 to 1,000 degrees Celsius, is used to produce hydrogen from a methane source, such as natural gas. In steam methane reforming, methane reacts with steam under 3 to 25 bar pressure, 1 bar equals 14.5 psi, in the presence of a catalyst to produce hydrogen, carbon monoxide, and a relatively small amount of carbon dioxide. Steam reforming is endothermic, that is, heat must be supplied to the process for the reaction to proceed. So they need heat. Where are they getting the heat from? In steam methane reacts with steam in pressure in the presence of a catalyst to produce hydrogen, carbon monoxide, and a relatively small amount of carbon dioxide. Steam reforming is endothermic. Heat must be supplied. Subsequently, in what is called the water-gas shift reaction, the carbon monoxide and steam are reacted using a catalyst to produce carbon monoxide and more hydrogen. In a final process step called pressure swing adsorption, carbon dioxide and other impurities are removed from the gas stream, leaving essentially pure hydrogen. Steam reforming can also be used to produce hydrogen from other fuels, such as ethanol, propane, or even gasoline. Wow. This is like Breaking Bad for energy. Steam methane reforming reaction. So you have CH4 plus H2O, baby, plus heat gives you carbon monoxide and 3H2. What is the 3? What does it mean when the 3 is in front of? What is 3H2? (3H2) element name. No. 3H2 chemical name. 3H2. Pentobenzene? What in God's name is that? Pentobenzene. Is that really pentobenzene? What is pentobenzene? Molecular formula. What the does it mean when you get 3H2? What is like carbon monoxide I get? What is 3H2? What is 3H2? It's 2 hydrogens. You get 2. Do you just get 3 Dihydrogen. Is that what it is? Dihydrogen. Right. So if you get 3, you just get 3 dihydrogens. Oh, because there's 6. There's 6 hydrogen atoms. Got it. Okay, so you get carbon monoxide, and then you just get 3 dihydrogens. So, well, how is hydrogen? Look, people were really looking for dihydrogen in April 2004. People were like, "Oh snap!" March 2004, dihydrogen was the coolest thing. It was like right up there. What else was popular in March 2004? Can you see that on Google Trends? Can you see what was going on in March 2004? Or can you only start with a topic? Can you go to a time? Valentine's Day. No. The Bachelor. Explore trending searches, year in search, subscriptions. You have no subscriptions. I got a subscription for you. Dihydrogen. Dihydrogen. Yep. Worldwide. I want to know what is going on. What is happening with dihydrogen? That almost sounds like it'd be one of those, a really expensive bottle of dihydrogen, and it would have like some dubious claims of what it could do. This bottle of dihydrogen will increase your sex drive. You will feel like a horse, a bull in a china shop with this bottle of dihydrogen. Sniff it up. I just saw this crazy thing today. End of life Australia Vice. Death in a can. This was wild. It's wild. The only way it's wild is if you have to consider yourself in the position of someone needing to buy this. Watch this video. I'm not going to put their video. I don't want this thing to get demonetized from the demonetized I'm not even going to get. But that's a wild video. So, and in it, they talk about how people going through a lot of pain may want to opt for a clean resolution, a clean ending to their pain, so to speak. And it's a tough thing. So there's a loophole where if you assist someone in this endeavor, you could be held liable. And while that person's gone, you now have to suffer whatever consequences come based on the law. But if they do it by themselves, but either way, it comes in the form of a can of nitrogen. And you inflate a bag of nitrogen, and then you exhale and inhale the nitrogen, and you pass out. And then you continue to inhale the nitrogen. And because there is no oxygen, well, you can put it together. The point of that is that cans of various substances go through different phases of usefulness. And really, I guess, the substances themselves, just based on the reality of it, just the essence of it, they are eternal. They've been around forever. Human beings have had varying interest in these elements over time, but they themselves are eternal. I mean, hydrogen has quite literally been around forever. If anything's been around forever, it's hydrogen. It's literally hydrogen. There's not anything else that's been around longer than hydrogen. Like all those things, people, they've been doing that forever. No, they haven't. You know what they've been doing forever? Hydrogen. That's what they've been doing forever. Hydrogen's been around longer. Hydrogen's the longest running fad in existence. That's what hydrogen is. Before all the hot dances, the TikTok dances, before all that, before the booze, before the ancient drugs, before cats and dogs, before the dinosaurs, was hydrogen. God himself may be hydrogen. Maybe that's what God is. God is hydrogen. God is everywhere. God, that's a good riddle. It's all around you. It's in you. It's made of you. You're made of it. It's made of you. What is it? Hydrogen. It's in your car. It's in your boat. It's running your plane. What is it? It's hydrogen. So I guess we can get back into... So now we understand that. Look at all these things that we're learning. You can't get this. I'm going to have to charge for this show. It's $100 an episode now, ladies and gentlemen. Forget this. There's all this trash out there, and here we are. We're learning. This should be made for kids. This should... Water gas shift reaction. All right, let's get back into it. Back to chemistry class, ladies. Cut it out. Cut it out with the spitballs. No more spitballs. Kevin, Tim, Jimmy, Pablo, cut it out. No more spitballs. The girls are behaving perfectly in the class. They're just doing wonderful. But that little group of rowdy boys back, cut it out. We're about to learn the water gas shift reaction. This is going to be on the test, all right? I think episode 5 is going to be a best of compilation. I'm going to go compile the best clips of the first 4 episodes, and that's going to be episode 5. Because we've really had some bangers. Some bangers. And we're going to take another intermission, and we're going to go make a playlist. So here we have episode 3, where we used the Google text-to-speech API, and we actually created some stuff. And it wasn't the easiest thing. It's not so easy. And you can watch the video and you can see. But let's go. This is episode 3, episode 2, and episode 1. Let's go add this to a playlist. And this is going to be the Rick Troutner show. Okay. Cool. Create. Boom. And then I'm going to change the titles of all these. The Rick Troutner save. And this is going to be number 1. And we're going to see the evolution. We're going to see me get better at this. Because I think we're getting better right now. I think the show's getting... I think what we're doing right now, Emmy Award winning. I'll put the P.O. box where you can mail me my Emmy. And, you know. Look at that. I did it backwards. I should do that one backwards. Oh, snap. There we go. Conspiracies are going to start. Why is the hashtag backwards for episode 3? I guess we won't even know. Look, episode 3 is not even released yet. So now we have the playlist. So you can go to the Rick Troutner show playlist and, you could watch all the episodes, but they may not always be there. So, and then we're going to do clips. We're going to have clips because nobody's just going to watch the episode. I'm going to have to put clips and I'm going to have to title it about something somebody cares about. And then some people are going to show up and be like, this fool is talking nonsense. He knows nothing about the subject and he's pretending to be an expert, which I'm not. I'm literally just doing the kind of path of least resistance YouTube channel right now, because what would I have been doing this hour anyways? I don't know. I would have been pottering around. So this is my hour I'm dedicating to content creation, because I realize I'm not going to go edit any of this stuff because that's horrifying. I may go edit this into clips, or I may go hire someone to go edit this into clips, but I'm not going to be editing this. And time's ticking. I mean, I think I already have gray hairs going. I think the gray hairs are coming. So, we're here and then we're gone, and then I'll probably become hydrogen again, just like, everything else. I'll be some hydrogen. I'll be running some fuel cell cars. So will you. So, Well, let's just get real. But let's get back into class right here. So we have the water. I don't even know if you can see the thing behind me. Oh, I have the other monitor. Why am I not using it? Boom, there we go. Woo! See, now I can see this whole recording thing is still very new. So let's move me over here. And now let's look at some of this stuff. I think it was better over here actually, but the stuff's over here. All right, there we go. I do like the fact that I take up most of the screen because that should help me with some of the copyright stuff, because for any image that's in the show, my face is taking up at least 30%, 40, 50%. Look at that. Boom. Can't even say. That's an original image right there. Originality. That's what we need. Look at that. It's an accident. I've had the shirt for so long. It's an accident. That should be the name of the show. That's the name of this episode. It's a snackcident. This show is a snackcident. Like you shouldn't be watching this video. But let's go into the water gas shift reaction, because this is fascinating to me. And that's really what these videos are about. What is fascinating to me? So the water gas shift reaction, you have carbon monoxide. Oh, okay. So this is like velocity, acceleration, and jerk. So velocity is the methane. You got methane. It's going through pipes. It's already flowing through the pipes. But now we're going to take that methane and we're going to accelerate it using the steam methane reforming reaction. And that acceleration is going to, I know if this was a legal contract, this would make no sense, because what do you accelerate? I mean, maybe you are accelerating. What are the acceleration definition? What are the many definitions of acceleration? A vehicle's capacity increase in the rate of speed, the rate of change. So it's the rate of change. But what about velocity? Velocity, the speed of something. In general, you speed, the rate at which money changes hands within an economy. In general, you speed. Okay, so there's no chemical. So we're just connecting these ideas by by a strand. So we have carbon monoxide, we have water, and then that turns into carbon dioxide and hydrogen, and then it's just plus a small amount of heat. So you're putting some heat in, and then on the second one you're getting some heat out. So you're getting some of that stuff back. And this is that kind of action reaction stuff that I was talking about. Just doing any kind of basic movements, you feel it's like I can move just a little bit more. I've been taking dance classes, and I realize some of the hardest part of the dance classes is just moving your foot fast enough into the steps, because every step is like a little bit of energy, and you're using mental energy because you got to be stepping in like a specific place. It's a lot. So for people that have chronic pain, I don't know why. I don't know why they carry on. They need the can of nitrogen, and just I'd be the first one there. If I had any kind of chronic pain, get me the can of nitrogen. Get me the bag and the can of nitrogen. I'm done with it. It's dark. Partial oxidation. In partial oxidation, the methane and other hydrocarbons and natural gas react with a limited amount of oxygen, typically from the air. I bet. Where is it? Right here. Typically from the air. There we go. I bet it's typically from air. That is not enough to completely oxidize the hydrocarbons. It's like a Bostonian weird accent. The hydrocarbons to carbon dioxide and water with less than. I'm interested to know what people think my accent sounds like, because it's kind of hard to dictate your own accent. I don't know what it sounds like. It just sounds kind of like a normal American accent to me, but I could imagine to people that aren't me probably hear it a different way. So I don't know. And carbon dioxide and nitrogen, if the reaction is carried out with air rather than pure oxygen, that is not enough to completely oxidize the hydrocarbons with less than the stoichiometric amount. Now, does stoichiometric always mean 14.7 to 1? Relating in stoichiochemistry. Relating denoting quantities of reactants in simple integral ratios. Okay. As prescribed. So stoichiometric is any integral ratio. Stoichiometry. Stoichiometry is the calculation of reactants and products in chemical reactions in chemistry. Stoichiometry is founded on the law of conservation of mass, where the total mass of the reactants equals the total mass of the products, of course, leading to the insight that the relations among quantities of reactants and products typically form a ratio of positive integers. This means that if the amount of the separate reactants are known, then the amount of the product can be calculated. Conversely, if one reactant has a known quantity and the quantity of the products can be empirically determined, then the amount of the other reactants can also be calculated. This is illustrated in the image here, where the balance equation is carbon and 4 hydrogen plus 2 dioxygens gives you carbon dioxide and 2 dihydrogen oxides. Is it dihydrogen oxide? Dihydrogen monoxide. Oh, okay, so you say monoxide. Got you. Got you. I get it. I'm a chemist now. I'm certified. I think in one of the earlier episodes, I think in episode 2, I learned how to speak Greek. So definitely go watch episode 2 where I learned how to speak Greek. And then I think I'm going to try that title on that video, actually. That's actually a good title. But I won't make it. I learned how to speak Greek, but not really. There we go. Let's try that out. Why not? Hey, and it's because the International Association of whatever the F, let's go into that video. Let's give myself a view. I think I need a view. So at some point in this video, we go to, why did Scotty Kilmer show up? Oh, because the next video is a Scotty Kilmer video. That's funny. So at some point, I ended up on this, and at the bottom of it, right here, it says that once you understand like this basic concept that there's so many words, you can speak Greek now. That's literally what they say. Look, I'm not making this up. I'm not making this up. What does it say right behind me? I'm blowing up my video because I don't remember what website. I don't remember where this website is. There we go. You can speak Greek now. Look, you can speak Greek now. So after you read this little thing, which goes into how all languages have come about, you can now speak Greek. So, based on a few lads in Paris, which consider themselves kind of the arbiters of language, just by knowing those things, obviously you actually have to know them, but, very simply, you could speak whatever language is essentially what they were saying. So we learned about stoichiometry. That's good. We learned about how they make hydrogen as a fuel. We learned that hydrogen is more flammable than gases, but based on what the government says, it's safe, nothing to worry about, nothing to see here. So now we can sleep easy on that. And, everything's, but I mean, when you actually think about it, of course it's dangerous. Gas is dangerous. And I mean, accidents are always going to happen. Accidents happen with gas. Plenty of cars have blown up from gas and things like that. There's definitely one thing is the toxicity of it. At least once the explosion part is over, there's no toxic, gas spills in the ocean and on land. And I mean, now think about this. So we were talking about things trickling out of cars. One of the big things with cars that I know because I'm experiencing it is a car that leaks any of the various fluids that it has inside of it. Oils, power steering fluid, transmission fluid, brake fluid, and fuel itself. And those are leaking out. I mean, all those spots you see on the ground are spots left by cars that are leaking fluids. And for a car to not leak fluids would be a near impossibility, because that would be to deny the entropy that happens to car and car parts and rubber and plastic, that once those go bad and those go brittle and they break, that those fluids under pressure are going to be pushed out of the engine and the transmission and the lines and everything, and then they're going to leak down to the floor, and that's going to happen. Now, with hydrogen fuel cell cars, does it use oil? I would imagine it uses some kind of oil. I mean, any moving parts, at the end of the day, you still have metal on metal. It may use a different kind, it may use less oil, I don't know. But I would imagine it still uses some kind of oil that could inevitably leak out of the vehicle and down onto the ground. So while it's leaking water and there's still things that are going to be leaking out of it, obviously it's less. I mean, I would drive a hydrogen fuel cell car if I had hydrogen near me. Apparently there's only hydrogen stations in California, and so in Florida it would be a very difficult thing to drive a hydrogen fuel cell car. That's what I was wondering, how do you create it? But that's pretty incredible that's how. I think you can do electrolysis, right? You can do electrolysis, chemical decomposition produced by passing electric current through a liquid or solution. So electrolysis of water to extract hydrogen. Can you do that? Not definition. Electrolysis of split water into hydrogen. The reaction takes place in the electrolyzer. So then hydrogen production. So this is the other way. Electrolysis is a promising option for hydrogen production from renewable sources. Electrolysis is the process of using electricity to split water into hydrogen and oxygen. This reaction takes place in a unit called an electrolyzer. Electrolyzers can range in size from small appliance-sized equipment that is well-suited for small-scale distributed hydrogen production to large-scale central production facilities that could be tied directly to renewable or other non-greenhouse gas-emitting forms of electricity production. How does it work? Like fuel cells, electrolyzers consist of an anode and a cathode separated by an electrolyte. Different electrolyzers function in slightly different ways, mainly due to the different type of electrolyte material involved. Polymer electrolyte membrane electrolyzers and a polymer electrolyte membrane PEM electrolyzer. The electrolyte is a solid specialty plastic material. So there's ways to create hydrogen that way, but then that's where it gets into, okay, where's the electricity coming from? Well, you could run it on solar, I would imagine, solar and batteries. Right? But see, then the issue with solar is creating the panels. You need a lot of toxic things to create a solar panel, and it's just kind of no bueno. It's just a tough thing. People need energy no matter what. And I mean, it's kind of it's a sick irony. Most people probably wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for fossil fuels, because of its push for, that has been able to run our machinery. People have been able to now develop machines that can run off fossil fuels that are used in agriculture and on the trucks that deliver the food, and in the power generators that run so that people can live, and it's not, there's enough food for the amount of people that there are. And apparently, for some places there isn't. I think this may be a very uneducated statement. I would probably assume that it is. But I would imagine that in the net production of food, there's really enough food for everyone. It's just not distributed to everyone in an equitable way. And I have no answer for that. But so human beings have the ability right now, with the resources we have, because with the amount of food that's thrown out, I mean, that may just be, then that's a distribution problem. If there's food being thrown out and there's people that can't get their hands on food and are looking for food, that's a distribution problem, because the supply is not meeting the demand. Now, those people may not be able to pay for the food, and then that's a whole other issue. That's a whole other economic issue. And again, there's no answers on it here. I'm just kind of stating things that are real, that are, but if if the population counts are what they are, where we've gone from like 1 or 2 billion people 100 years ago to nearing 8 billion people now, and that this is the first time it seems in recorded history. Now again, anything beyond like 50 or 100 million years ago that would have been discernible as a life, a creature that would look like us, I would imagine has decomposed into the earth. I don't know on what time scale. I mean, the dinosaurs were what, 66 million years ago? How long ago did dinosaurs live, right? 65 million years. So if we're finding fossils from 65 million years ago, then possibly, but I don't know if at 180 million years. Oldest fossil found. Oldest fossil found. Okay. So we'd see the fossils. Science discovered what they thought were 3.5 billion years. So were they? Making them the oldest fossil. So what kind of life was in them? A new study reveals that making them the oldest fossil. Okay, microbial organisms. So who knows? Maybe there was more advanced life that long ago, but it's decomposed in a way that we can't find it. It's broken back down into hydrogen. It's gone now. Only like the small. I don't know. I mean, but this is what. So 3.5 billion years ago, you'd be able to find some microbial life. But we've been able to find fossils of things 65 million years ago. So if there was ever a time in the past, what I'm saying is, if there was ever a time in the past where there was 5 billion humans, north of 5 billion creatures on the planet, would we have found it? I mean, I guess that's what we found in the dinosaurs, is a creature that was large, a large creature that kind of ruled the top end of the food chain that many years ago. So in 65 million years, whatever's around, if they're into archaeology, if they're into YouTube videos in 65 million years, like this video, subscribe. I could see whoever's around 65 million years from now doing YouTube. What would that look like? The Earth in 50 million years. 65 maybe. The Earth in 50 million years. What's going on? Future world plus 50 million years. Look at that. I love this Google shit. Somebody made a website just for that. 50 million years. Boom. Bingo. Got it. You want to know exactly that? No problem. So what's going on? What's going on then? It will widen. Oh, cool. Oh, look at Africa. Oh, snap. Africa's like, look, Florida's still around. Sea level rise my ass. Nope, I got proof. Sea level rise is a hoax. Look, Florida's still around in 50 million years. What's up, baby? We made it, y'all. Florida is still around. What's up? Look at that. Africa smashed into Europe's like gone. Europe's like, see ya, folks. It's like that old internet video. How old is this? Oh, this is internet history, my friends. How many views does this thing have? Only 17 million. That's really not that much for being such a... This guy only have common sense. I didn't make this. Okay. So this is someone that just posted it. They posted it early though. Have some common sense. I didn't post this. I didn't make this. That's great. End of the world. Yes. Yep. Good. Yeah, so it's like this thing where Australia is just like, nope. They're just like, oh, California is like, see y'all. That's funny. So there we go. That's old internet. I think that was made like 2003 or something. But yeah, it definitely got more than 17 million views. Definitely over, almost 20 years. That thing has definitely gotten views. So thanks for watching.